Welcome to UK Cop, where we expose misconduct, break down police and legal encounters, defend rights, and demand accountability. Today's episode is brought to you by Power to the Proletariat. Check the link below, subscribe, and give him the credit he deserves. In this case, Auditor PTTP is calmly filming outside a police station, well within his rights, when an inspector and several officers swarm him, accusing him of harassment simply for recording a private car from a public space. Within minutes, they escalate to threats of arrest with no lawful grounds. PTTP stands firm, dismantles their claims, and exposes their unprofessional conduct, a clash that ends in a formal complaint and a chief inspector forced to respond.
Hello?
Are you doing a news piece?
Just having a look at your cars now, really. Just saw this PC was idling up there, and I figured she was going to be coming out in a second. So, yeah, just waiting for... Oh, my days. Oh, so we got an inspector, a PC?
Yeah.
PC? Inspector. So we've got 4 police officers for a man with a camera.
Right.
But it's quite intimidating, isn't it, having 4 people come out?
There's private vehicles there as well as vehicles that are unmarked.
Sure, but
I'm just wondering what your purpose is.
But it's quite intimidating having 4 officers come out and accost somebody with a camera.
You're here on police premises.
Yeah, but like 4 people.
We need to establish whether there's a security issue.
Okay.
So, do you want to talk to me about what you're here for? I've got no issue with you filming, but as I've said, there's private vehicles.
Yeah, it's not my intention to get those. If they're in the background of a shot, they're in the background of a shot. But I'm not here to.
I'm not doing a news piece. Do you want an interview? I'll talk to you if you'd like to have an interview.
Not particularly. No, just want to have a look around. That's all. Just like to look around.
I saw you obviously trying to walk around there. So I was just wondering.
You should be careful with the information that you say like that, because I wasn't trying to walk around there at all.
The opening seconds say it all. 4 officers, led by an inspector, march straight toward the auditor. No pause, no assessment, just immediate intervention. The inspector starts with the classic soft opener, "I don't mind filming," then instantly drops the hook, "but there are private vehicles in the car park." A subtle shift that frames the auditor's presence as a potential problem. Right on cue, her colleague delivers the punch, a confident claim that the auditor tried to enter the private car park. That's not an observation, that's an accusation. Close to the line. Maybe. Illegal. Absolutely not. But here's the trick, if you convince people he intended to cross it, you've manufactured suspicion in real time.
I was stood there for a good 4 minutes watching you in your vehicle, and I saw the sign saying no unauthorised access. So don't tell me that I was trying to walk places where I wasn't. Be careful with things like that.
Have you got the footage that you need?
I'm not sure yet, to be honest.
Okay, but I'd like you to leave, because as I've said, there are private vehicles there, that you've got some footage. You've got enough, there's nothing.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the footage that I was getting was actually interrupted by the PC stopping and coming out. Okay. But so I'll probably wait around to see if any more vehicles come in or out, see if I can get one on blue lights.
You shouldn't do that, because as I've said, there's private cars coming in and out. Officers don't want you recording them coming and going from duty, because that presents a potential security risk.
Well, they shouldn't drive to work then, really, should they? If they're that concerned.
You have no business to film the private areas that are off limit to the public.
I have every business to film anything that's visible from a public area.
But my point is, you shouldn't be going up there, which is what you've done.
I haven't gone past the signage where your signage is. It doesn't say the signage. The signage is the signage here saying that I can't go further than this, or is the signage there saying I can't go further than there?
Twice, the inspector leans on the phrase private vehicles like it's some magic rule that overrides public rights. In reality, those cars are irrelevant. Visible from a public area means they can be filmed. But repeating the phrase plants the idea the auditor is somewhere he shouldn't be, softening the ground for her next move. You've got enough footage. That's not legislation, that's her deciding the job's done when she says so. From there, she slides straight into her colleague's false narrative, warning the auditor not to go up there. But here's the problem. She hasn't seen him cross the boundary, hasn't even checked the signage. She just adopts the accusation and delivers it with authority. The auditor, who knows the layout better than she does, points out the obvious. The restricted zone is further ahead. He hasn't crossed it, and the law is on his side.
My personal use, public interest.
Well, my personal vehicle is there, and I'm asking you, from me to you as a private individual, I'm not comfortable with you violating my personal space.
It's not your personal space. It's
my vehicle there, my private vehicle is there, and I'm not comfortable with you filming that.
Well, if you hadn't announced that it was your private vehicle, nobody would ever have known.
I'm telling you it is, so
no, you are
I'm
doing now.
You to stop. Yeah,
well, I'm not going to. It's in a public area.
In which case, you'll have to be removed to prevent the breach of the peace, because you are.
How am I breaching the peace? Do you know what the threshold is for breach of the peace?
You already have enough it, so I'm asking you to leave.
Okay.
You're creating these officers aren't able to get on with their policing
I'm
duty.
not stopping them.
The inspector's next move is jaw-dropping. My personal vehicle is there. I'm asking you as a private individual. You're violating my personal space. Personal space. She's on duty, in uniform, pointing to a police car park that belongs to the force, not her. It's in full public view, and the law is crystal clear. If you can see it from a public spot, you can film it. There's no such thing as personal space over something you don't own. The auditor cuts through immediately. It's not your personal space. She doubles down anyway, insisting she's not happy with her vehicle being filmed. The irony. If she hadn't announced it, nobody would have known which car was hers. She made it personal, not the auditor, a tactical blunder on her part, and then comes the threat: stop filming or be removed for breach of the peace. But breach of the peace is about preventing violence or disorder, not shutting down lawful filming because an officer feels uncomfortable. That's not law, that's overreach.
Individuals, as I was getting on with a matter that's of concern to the community, and I've got an individual on police premises filming not only the police cars coming and going, but officers arriving for duty and leaving again. That causes me a concern.
So you're working on conjecture there, because I have specifically said that that is not my intention.
I've said to you, you're causing me a concern. So
Okay.
I'd like you to leave.
Well, you're concerned. Do you police by your feelings in this country, or do you police by what the law is?
I'd like you to leave.
Do you police by what?
I'd like you to leave.
Do you police by what the law is, or do you
Sir,
police
I'm gonna
by?
get the officers to take you away, because you are not.
Am I in a
Look,
public place?
There are officers having private conversations about cases in the backyard of the police station.
Well, they
which
shouldn't
is
be.
not-
They shouldn't be
and you
having
are-
that conversation in that sort of place.
But you shouldn't be there within the scope of being able
I can
to
be.
film this.
Do you know you can film anything you can see from a public place in the UK?
Okay.
Is this a public place?
This is a public place.
There you go. So if I can film it,
let me put it a different way. If you stand at the end of my driveway at home, which
Sure.
is a public place, repairable at public expense,
Sure.
then you film into my window. Is that acceptable?
is this your home? Do you live here? Do you sleep here?
But these are private premises. Beyond this line here, you are filming from a public into a private space. Is that
Okay.
permitted?
Yes.
Hearing the auditor repeat that he's in a public place, the inspector reaches for a classic trap. If you stood at the end of my driveway and filmed into my window, would that be acceptable? It's a weak comparison from the start. Filming into the windows of a private home can raise privacy issues under harassment or data protection laws. But this isn't her home, it's a police station. There's no expectation of domestic privacy here. The auditor calls her bluff instantly. Is this your home? Do you live here? That's the key point. The law draws a sharp line between a private residence and a public workplace, especially one run by the state. She tries to recover with, "This is private premises, you're filming from public into private." Technically true, but irrelevant. Anything lawfully visible from a public spot can be filmed. Her driveway analogy isn't law. It's a red herring, designed to turn a legal argument into an emotional one.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Of course it
No.
is.
So you can stand on my road and film me in my home, can you?
If your curtains are open, then legally, yes, I can.
So
If I continue to do it repeatedly, then you could potentially take action about harassment. But at this point, I've been here once only, to come and get some footage that I want to.
Just on footage for a couple of minutes and then you can leave.
No,
please.
you don't put a time. You don't put a time limit
I
on
do
my
put a
rights.
time limit on you, and I'm telling you.
Do you know what
now,
Article 10 is of the Human Rights Act?
You are causing me personally harassment and alarm by filming here.
Go talk to the Lord Justice Bean about it. The police have a much
You
higher
have 2 minutes
threshold.
to leave and then you're going to go.
No,
Otherwise
I'm
you'll
not.
Be arrested.
I'm not.
Sure you're-
Arrest me?
Yes,
You're going
be
to arrest me. You'll be hearing from my
Absolutely.
solicitors, and you'll be having a civil suit on your hands.
Okay,
Arrest me for
so
what?
give me solicitors
What are you going to
details,
arrest me
and
for?
You are causing a nuisance.
What are you
here.
going to arrest me for?
Either public nuisance or harassment.
Public nuisance.
Yeah.
So under the new legislation that came with a public. So,
And you've got your opportunity to film.
So
I'd like you to not film or certainly delete anything that has details of my personal vehicle or that of any of the police officers there, and then I want you to go. All right?
you don't put a time limit on my rights.
From getting on with
No,
the
I'm
job.
exercising my rights here, and you don't put a time limit on that, Inspector. Inspector what? Blackwell? Thank you.
No, are you all right with me? Yeah, I can do anything.
Yeah, see, I'm obviously not that much of a concern because you're allowing them to go about their business, yet you're threatening to arrest me. Tyrants here at Stamford.
The inspector's final move before retreating inside is pure threat with nothing behind it. You've got 2 minutes, then you're going to go. When the auditor refuses, she raises the stakes, or else you'll be arrested for being a public nuisance. And that's where the whole facade collapses. Public nuisance isn't a catch-all for behavior police don't like. It's a serious, defined offense, historically tied to endangering life, obstructing public rights, or causing real harm to the community. Since 2022, It's been a statutory offence under Section 78 of the Police, Crime, Sentencing and Courts Act, still requiring substantial risk or damage to the public. Quietly filming from a public spot doesn't come close. By invoking it here, she wasn't applying the law, she was trying to scare compliance. That's a straight misuse of authority. Chief Inspector John Shield's review is just as revealing. He opens by justifying her approach, saying she was quite within her rights to ask what the auditor was doing. Fair enough. Asking is one thing. But she didn't just ask. She made false claims about his movements, invented a personal space narrative, threatened unlawful arrest, and even tried to frame lawful filming as a breach of the peace. None of that is within her rights. Shield admits the auditor was often on public ground, but then suggests that filming towards police property may cause concern. But concern is subjective. Legally, it means nothing unless tied to reasonable suspicion of an actual offence, which never existed here. Shield never addresses that once. He simply rephrases the same hollow justification the inspector used, only dressed in official language. The real letdown comes when he insists she didn't act unprofessionally. The footage proves otherwise. Professionalism isn't just avoiding raised voices, it's about applying law correctly, avoiding baseless threats, and keeping personal feelings out of official powers. Blackwell failed on all 3 counts. Yet Shield waved it through, and that's the core problem with internal reviews. They protect the badge, not the public. If inspectors can issue groundless threats, misuse powers, and invent analogies with no consequence, then accountability is nothing more than closing ranks. The footage shows misuse of authority from start to finish. The review shows how little the complaint system is willing to confront it. That's it for today's video. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me keep this independent coverage going.